my goodness. Oh, it's okay. Listen, we are live on Free Concert Friday. Y'all, listen, I reached my goal. It's not much in this era of YouTube, millions of views and such. But guess what? I had 50 subscribers. And I could go on live. So I don't have to record no video. I could just get on here on Free Concert Friday and just start talking. Well, hey, it's Free Concert Friday. Wow. Well, we are back from we were back from New Providence, Nassau, and my baby had her little surgery, and she's now recovering, but she's recovering very well, and we're back on island, and we're here, Free Concert Friday again. All right. Now, I noticed the last Free Concert Friday, it was actually a Saturday. And I only realized we had been going up and down so much that I didn't realize that it was Saturday until after I went back and I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute, this is not Friday when I uploaded this and I did this video. It was actually a Saturday. So I apologize for the confusion, but we're here on Friday today. So for those of you who are new, we have a short little word or meditation. It's called a meditation. Like something I say and you can meditate on it. You could think about it for the rest of the week, and hopefully whatever I read or whatever I quote is something that you can relate to. Something that you can relate to or something that you can learn from. And then, of course, I'll do a little song, and then we're done. In the future, I'm going to incorporate meals. Like I said, for those of you who have been coming and watching, I've been trying to incorporate meals some way, but at some point I'll figure out how I'm going to incorporate a meal. I may just sit in front of the camera and just eat a meal on the Friday and just talk, or cook a meal, or maybe alternate. But I haven't decided on it yet. So in the future, it will happen. Just like it happened for the 50 subscribers, and I am on live. The next thing that I want to hit 1,000 subscribers. That's my next goal, is 1,000 subscribers. Okay. So we'll talk about patience. And people say that patience is a virtue. But in the Bible, patience is a characteristic of love. According to Corinthians in the Bible, patience is actually a characteristic of love. So the Bible says that love is the first thing. Love is patient. And then the next thing is love is kind. And I tell my daughter to be patient all the time. But I'm not patient all the time. Right? Yes, she's shaking her head to yes. I'm not patient all the time. I have to be an example to her. So how I explain patience to her is, you're waiting without complaining, without getting upset, without getting angry, without getting anxious. It's like you're waiting with some level of trust. Not necessarily in that person, but trust that it'll eventually happen. That's how I feel patience is. I don't have the actual definition, but when I think of patience, at least me personally, when I am being patient, that's how I remain patient. Is in my mind, I'm thinking it's eventually going to happen. And for, let's say, example, for parents who are patient with their children to come around and maybe do the right thing or stop doing something that they don't want them to do, or going places they don't want them, the parents don't want them to go, or patience with a parent for a child that has really bad company, and you've told them it's not good to have this kind of company. You know, your company is basically who you are, and we want you to keep better company, but they haven't come around as yet. And so instead of nagging them and criticizing them all the time and speaking harshly to them, you just tell them, you encourage them, and you just patiently, in love, with love, because because according to the Bible, patience is a characteristic of love. So you're patient with people that you love. And so the parent that is patient with, and I use parents because most parents love their children. They may not know exactly how to raise their children, but most parents love their children. So I use parents because parents are one of the most natural loves, because their child is their child. The child belongs to them from birth. And the child came from them. So I feel like, in my personal opinion, I'm not basing this on the Bible, but in my personal opinion, I feel like one of the most natural loves is between a parent and a child. So I feel like naturally parents are very patient with their children. And so when that parent is patiently waiting for that child to come around and start hanging with the children, it's like, to the parent, eventually they are going to come around. So waiting without complaining to the child, just encouraging them, watching them, and waiting and waiting and being hopeful. You know, it's not just waiting around to see if something bad is going to happen or anything, but it's waiting in the hopes that things will change and get better, no matter how long it takes. That's how I view patience. And I think that parents should have patience, children should have, I think that everyone should have patience. And patience isn't something that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Because nowadays I feel like a lot of people feel like virtues are outdated. Kind of like chivalry or submission for women in relationships with husbands. And I feel like even traditional values, let's say that, are traditional values and traditional virtues are outdated. Like you don't really hear people talking about perseverance, long suffering, you know? And these are, and chivalry, like I was saying, these are like old time words and old time concepts. And another one, honor. Whew, that's a big one. But no one really talks about these things. And they're so important. And I feel like just because it's a new age, which it is a new age, and a lot of things have changed, but those things are still important. And so the verse in Corinthians says, love is patient, one, love is kind. Those are the first two ones that are in that Bible verse about love. And even as that verse continues on, later on in that verse, it talks about how if you're not doing anything from love, it's nothing. So Even that patience is supposed to come from love. And so, what my encouragement for you is today is to check your love tank. Check your love meter. How are you loving today? What are some things that you need to do in order to show more love to someone? If you have a child, start with your child. If you have a spouse, a significant other, you can start with them too. And then let's flip it and say if you have your parents that are here, that are still with you, and you have access to them, you can share that love with your parents. And because it's always important to start those things, start practicing those things with people that are closest to you. And then after you do those wonderful things to the people that are closest to you, then you can start doing it and branching off to everybody else. And then it's the same thing as with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Do all those wonderful things for yourself. Don't just save it for everyone that's outside of you. Yep. Okay, well, that's the meditation. Think about that for the rest of the week. And I'm going to do a song, the Miley Cyrus song. I was telling my daughter I'm going to sing this one today. It's a fun song. It's a new song. It's like on the top of the Billboard on top of the Billboard charts. It's called Flowers. And one thing I love about Miley Cyrus, she could sing a heartbreak song. She could sing like a revolution type song. She have the type of voice where when you listen to her, it's like, yeah, I want to do that. She could start a revolution with that voice, that Miley Cyrus. Trust me, she can. So this is called Flowers. Dun, 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 dun. It's more to the verse, but I can buy myself flowers. I can. Yeah, Tova singing it. I can buy myself flowers. Write my name on the sand. Talk to myself for hours. Say things I don't understand. I can take myself dancing. I can hold my own hand. Yeah, I can love me better than you can love me better. I 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 can love me better. Okay, I stop. Tova say I can't sing that too much. It's too much. Okay, well, that's Free Concert Friday for tonight. Our first live Free Concert Friday, but it won't be the last. See you next week Friday. Bye.
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 I am still trying to figure out how to do this now. So, save. I'm still trying to come off. I'm not sure if I should just exit or... Okay, bye. Bye again. Bye again.